Yeah, I threw a brick at my cousin, and I'd do it again. Basically, I threw a brick at my cousin, and that might sound bad. All right, it might sound like a bad thing that I threw a brick at my cousin and killed him. But when I'm done explaining what happened, you're gonna agree with me so much. You're gonna agree with me so much that you're gonna wish that you were the one that threw the brick at my cousin. Anyway, so basically, I was just chilling, and I woke up and I went into my room full of nooses that I have because I collect rope. I collect old antique rope. And all of a sudden, I noticed that one of my most pristine nooses, called the Noose 500, I'll show it on screen right there, that someone had stolen that noose. Now, there was only 3 people that I could have thought could have done this. Either one, my dad. But the problem is that at the time, my dad was in the hospital, but he got hit by a dump truck because the driver was, he had gotten shot by some gangsters, and so it couldn't have been him because he was in a coma. Then I thought, my sister, because, that makes sense, because my sister is kind of a oddball. Maybe she wanted to just show her friends my collection of nooses. But then I remembered she was in Guatemala on vacation. So there's only one person that could have done this. My stupid, fat, ugly cousin, Jerry Gafilba. Now, Jerry Gafilba is a very, very strange man. Like, he's been called a lot of bad names on the internet by certain people that I will not be talking about in this video. But he has a lot of problems, basically. He, got clubbed over the head at birth. So he has, some sort of disease. Or, mental illness. Yeah, that's what I meant. Illness, not disease. But, so this entire time, I'm just there's no way that Johnny Gafilba, that fat, ugly piece of crap, would steal my Noose 500. So, while he was at school, I checked his diary. And I also noticed a puddle of ketchup right next to said diary and a knife, which, once I read the diary, I realized that was not ketchup. He must have been cutting his arm, which, I don't know why he's cutting his arm, because nothing sad has ever happened to him in his entire life. He's just emo for no reason. So, I saw some pretty weird stuff. For some reason, he had a lock of his crush's hair in his diary, but we're not going to get into that. He's just a weirdo. But page 100, it was checked by some more of that Kool-Aid that was all over the place. And basically, I read the diary, and I'm like, oh my gosh. He said that he's going to do bad stuff to himself and his crush. So I'm like, oh shoot, I need to get this guy. I had also read that he was playing a date on his crush on that exact date. So, I know I'm filming in the car, but I can't drive yet because they took away my license because I accidentally crashed into Guy Fieri's restaurant. Yes, they took away my license. What losers. So, I'm running like a caveman, carrying this cinder block, and I see him with his crush. But the problem is that he had pulled out the knife, and he was trying to stab her with it. So I slammed the cinder block over his head 15 times, and she starts screaming. And so, she scared me, so I accidentally threw the cinder block at her, too. And then I just, ran away. But then, luckily, his crush survived. But Johnny Gafilba was barely alive. So, The police came to my door recently. I told them the whole story, and honestly, instead of getting so mad at me, there's a bee in here. Stupid bees, get out of here. What are you doing? I hate bees. Get out! Okay, that worked. So it's just like terrible because the police pulled up at my door, so I had to explain the whole thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh. There's a huge freaking wasp. Why is there a wasp in this car? I don't know, but I'm going to get out of here. I'm gonna have to continue the story on foot. I forgot that stupid thing doesn't close. Sorry guys about the wait, but I'm not sitting in a car with this giant hornet that's just chilling in this car. This is my suspended car. How did a wasp even get in here? I drive it all the time, even though my license got suspended. So okay, I'm basically like, police, this happened and this happened, but it's just like terrible because they don't believe me. So they take me down to the station, right? And they send me to court. This happened, like, I actually almost killed him like a couple months ago, but I'm just ranting about it now because my lawyer told me not to talk about it. But I finally got sentenced to 0 days in prison. But then after that, I kind of threw a bench at Johnny Gafilba, and I started beating his ass because he deserved it. I mean, like, you're not going to try to kill someone and take my noose, my hard-earned noose that I spent $200 on. All right, you're not going to take that from me. But he tried to anyway. So I'm just like, what are you doing, man? So I threw the bench at him because he was like trying to get cocky. So now I'm actually going to jail for first-degree murder. But like, dude, these people should be licking my feet, bro. They should be licking my boots clean for the service that I just did for the American people. But no, they don't want that. All right, because this whole system is just corrupt. You're telling me I killed my cousin because he wanted to kill a random lady and himself, and I get in trouble for killing him. I mean, like, what sense does that even make? You people better believe. All right, you people better believe, man.